Good morning again. It's officially 10 past 2, so we can officially start this webinar. So thank you for joining us today. So the topic today is to present you an update about the recent published funding calls to find some opportunities for your research innovation or project development on research innovation. But today, what we want also is to present you a new tool that we have developed in the framework of ETIP. It's called the European Geothermal Research and Innovation Document Search Engine. As an acronym, we call that EGRIS, and it will be presented just after my short introduction by Eugenio Trompier from CNR, the National Italian Research Council. Indeed, this tool, you will see, is to help you also to better understand what are the developments, to also better refer to existing ongoing research activities, to have access to more than 10,000 publications. The second presenter of the day today is Emile Martini. He's in charge of all funding programs and financial aspect of running geothermal. And he will present to especially the open calls on Horizon Europe. But as you are familiar with, we have the end of the work program 23-24, so it will mean some few calls, but we will also present you some other funding opportunities, and notably what are the next steps in terms of funding programs for the year 23, 24, and 25. What is important in the webinar is also to support your activities, is to also do some lessons learned from recent calls. And we have just published a monitoring report in the year 2023, and we'll present you the result of this monitoring report. How many, what was the competition during the recent calls, which project has been awarded, on which conditions. So we will also spend some time on some lessons learned. With this presentation, short introduction, mention of the agenda, I think now it's time and my pleasure to give the floor to Eugenio Trompier, so to present you this EGRIS, this fantastic online for free search engine on geothermal publication. Eugenio, the floor is yours.
Okay, thank you, Philippe, for the introduction. So the topic of this presentation today is to show you, to unveil this new version of EGRIS. EGRIS, as said, is the new European Geothermal Research and Innovation Search Engine. It is my intention to give you just an overview and to pass later to an on-the-fly demonstration of the capability of this tool. But first of all, just a few words about the framework where we developed and we thought about this new version of EGRIS. It was developed, as said, in the frame of Geotherm Fora, which is an EU-funded project devoted to liaise and support, strengthen, and optimize the relation between the two groups, the Deep Geothermal Implementation Working Group and the ATIP Geothermal. Among the different aims of this project, there is the update or the implementation and realization of a strategic document like the Deep Geothermal Implementation Plan from the Implementation Working Group, or the update of the Strategic Research and Innovation Agenda or the vision from ATIP Geothermal. Among the things, there are also the aim of organize the knowledge in the frame of the geothermal sector. With the EGRIS, you can describe, of course, the research, development, and innovation geothermal sector. You can highlight a success story or gaps, but also, as said before, you can organize the knowledge, share the knowledge, and organize even the data. With this tool, you can access directly, retrieve different kind of research products. By using this tool, you can, of course, have support in different actions. For example, we used it for the update of the strategic research and innovation agenda. But it was very important also to highlight what are the priorities, because in terms of research, of course, because you can describe what happened before, so on the different research that the European Commission funded before, and then you can use it even to have and to describe the background in your project proposal. As you know, since we are now describing the version 2, we had the version 1. The version 1 was developed and thought in the frame of the previous EU-funded project dedicated to the coordination and the secretariat of the ATIP geothermal. In that framework, we set up a first version of EGRIS. What we did is to collect from different sources, not automatically, the different research products. We described all the products by using metadata. You have here on the bottom of the slide some example of what we use as a field of metadata. And then we organized all the documents we collected in a Zenodo community. Zenodo, as most of you already know, is a catch-all repository created by CERN of Geneva and funded by the European Commission, and it is promoted by OpenAir. We used the API provided by Zenodo to connect this backend, so the Zenodo community, to our front-end developed in the previous project. So with the front end, you were able to retrieve the document we collected. From this statistic, you can see that at that period we collected by hand, not automatically. I would like to underline this part, because we were able to collect only 266 documents divided in the different typology, as you can see in the slide. But now we are at the version 2. What happened? So in this version, we expand our backend, basically. We are using now the OpenAir aggregator, and EGRIS 2.0 now is benefiting the OpenAir infrastructure. So for that aim, in the frame of Geotherm Fora project, CNR signed a memorandum of understanding with the OpenAir organization. OpenAir, for those of you who don't know what is a network of dedicated open science experts promoting and providing training on open science. So open science is a sort of corner point. On the other hand, OpenAir is a technical infrastructure harvesting research output from different data providers. What is still to be defined now is how to maintain this new organization of EGRIS, because in this memorandum of understanding, we define that the tool OpenAir Connect and OpenAir Monitor are used in this EGRIS version 2. And what we still to define is the sustainability of the maintaining of these two tools. So now, how can you access this EGRIS 2.0? If you go to ATIP Geothermal website, you have a direct link on the main menu, and you have a link here on the bottom. You have egris.openair.eu. If you click on there, you have the access directly to the landing page, which is the one showed on the right-hand side of the slide. What we did is to set up this Connect tool provided by OpenAir to get and retrieve all the research products coming from geothermal research and geothermal projects. What we did actually was to set up more than 11 Zenodo communities related to geothermal, of course. We connected more than 65 geothermal projects directly from the Cordis EU portal. We set also more than 15 data sources, and for data sources, I mean, for instance, scientific journals or scientific data providers like Pangea, and also to be sure to have kept all the research products we need and we want. We set also some keywords, 10 subjects in this configuration. Once you go to the next page, once you click on the free text box you have in the center of the page, you will arrive in a classical catalog page where you have on the left hand side the different possibility to filters the different document. You have also the possibility to sort out the documents, and then for each of one you have some information, a summary of the related to the document. On the right hand side, I wrote here the different filter you can use to select your research product. You can select it by different access, if it is an open access, if it is restricted, and so on. For here, for document typology, field of science, the founder, the country, and so on. You can see here all of the list. This is the page related to each of the item you have retrieved. You have an abstract directly retrieved from the source. So if you click on an article like this one, Los Sumeros 3D Geo Model at Integration Scale, you have the summary, and the abstract was taken from the abstract of the paper. You have then the subjects here in this menu, and you have also related documents. So I think the cited papers within this article. On the right hand side, you have even some metrics related to the paper. This is the visualization. The visualization I showed you before was related to research products, but now you have the visualization related to a project. Here you have the example of GMEX. You have the summary, so the description of the project, the publication related, the research data related, the data management plan if it exists, and the metrics related to the project. If you click on here, I highlighted here with the blue box and with the blue arrow, you have another tool related to IGRIS 2.0. It is the monitor. The monitor allows the user to highlight the trends and the impact of your research in terms of mainly on open access. You have here just an example of some numbers related. This is the overview. You have more than 8,000 of publication, 7 software, 1,000 and more than 1,000 of sorry. And then you have other research product, more than 200. What is shown in this monitor are different charts. You can see here we have some group of this statistic related to research output. You have publication by type over the time, by time over the and then by number of publication, data set by type, and so on. You have here just some example of what we have. First chart is the publication by type over the time. Then you have publication by access right, by access right over the time. Publication openness over the time, and so on. Here some other charts. You have the in violet, you have top organization by research outcomes. Then you have top 15 data sources, number of publication in terms of number of publication. Then you have top journals in yellow here, number of gold open access publication. In addition, top project by linked dataset, top project by linked publication, and top project by linked software. Those are only some example, and you can browse this very nice and interesting tool. So in conclusion, now the knowledge on geothermal are more organized, and you can access it from a single and easy to use platform. You can now link and claim research. You can cite everything directly. You can have information for citing in each page. It is this tool is very useful for writing proposal to depict the story and the background of your project. Other repository can be easily updated and inserted in the search engine, and all these research products can be shared if they are open access, of course, and all the metadata are respecting the FAIR principle in the framework of the open science policy, I would say. So I conclude my presentation, and if we have time, I go for a quick demonstration. I have here the page on this egrees.openair.eu, but of course I can show you that if you go to ATIP geothermal website, and if you go to geothermal search engine, you have the dedicated page, and if you click on the link, you will be redirected to the ATIP geothermal egrees. So now you have this is the landing page with the supporting organization, with the thanks to OpenAir and also to the grant agreement of Geotherm Fora, you can see here. And then you can have here different tabs. If you want to start the research from here, you can choose this macro area of research product if you want, or if you want, you can have here another possibility. You can put, for instance, so among these, there should be even Geotherm Fora. So if you go to one of these, we can go to DPU project. You have the information related to this project. You have the description, the summary, the data management plan, if is it available. The project has it. And then you can share it or embed the related research product for this project in your website, download the information, or you can link to this page. If you come back to the home, And if you click I don't know why we have, okay. Okay, you see that we have a lot of research result, and we can filter. I don't know if we want to change the here. We can go to, oh, sorry. So we reduce the number. We can select even research data. If we click in one of these, we have the metrics on the right. We have the authors, the title, of course, the abstract, and I think we can go to Zenodo directly. We have here the possibility to download from here. We download the data set if we need this one. Okay, and moreover, if we go to this link, we can go to the monitor. Okay, you see that the different chart here on the page are interactive. You can see the different value, in this case, of the column. So we have, for instance, here the project that have funded research products here in Greece. By here, in violet, we have the publication. In green, we have the data set, and in yellow, the research products. We have the publication over the time, so those are the peer review, this in red, and the violet column are all the publication, both peer reviewed and grant supported. The same for the data set released in the different years. The openness of the publications, so the typology, so green open access or gold open access. You have here the two line, and so on. You can browse among the different chart here. The previous one was the overview. Then you can go to drill. You can drill inside the different information. You can go here for the research output. You have the publication by type. So we have, in this case, most of them are other type, but in violet we have the articles, publication over the time, and so on. So the same for dataset and for software, also for project grants. So and then we have the open science. So we have a focus on the open science products. So here we have the typology of the access right for publication. In our e-Greece, we see that we have 3,663 publication open access, but more than 4,000 are closed access, because they are coming from copyrighted journals. So I think this is more or less all for the presentation. I'm here for any kind of question.
Thank you, Eugenio, for this presentation. I see that in the chat, already one question from you, from Gilles Peffen from Northern Norway. So the question is, how are resources updated, and what is the process of reporting new resources if it is not automatically imported in the database?
Okay, so the update, it happens once per month. And once a new paper is published or a new data set is published on Zenodo, for instance, we need to wait at maximum 1 month to have it on this GRIS.
So it's quite fast.
Quite fast, yeah.
Do you have other questions to Eugenio? I don't know if you have a question, but the best, as presented by Eugenio, is to visit this website, to visit this tool, and it's quite user-friendly tool. So you will see how you can benefit from all this publication for your work. In top of that, if you have any questions, for sure, we are also available, Eugenio and the Secretary of ATIP to answer your question.
Okay.
Okay, but just for that, we have 2 more questions. One from Catherine Kenning from GFZ. So, Eugenio, first, thanks for the presentation, but does the monitor dashboard also permit to filter per topic? That means, can I easily visualize the evolution of closed-loop system, for example?
Should be possible, because you have here on the right side these filters. I see that now it is possible only if you have if you are registered a registered user. For now, we did not define the policy on this regard, but we can discuss on that. But it is feasible.
Okay, thank you. Another question from Valérie Barres-Montel. So, is it possibly able to connect to other PDF? No, PTF. I think. How is the link? So, what is the format of a document online?
Well, it depends, of course. Well, the availability is depending on the typology of the copyright. So if we are looking for an open access document, we probably find also the document related to be downloaded. So in most of the cases, PDF. Or for the data set, it depends, of course. We can download it in many formats. But
clarify, I think you wanted to say platforms. Is GRIS connected to other platforms?
Sorry, I don't understand.
Is GRIS connected to other platforms? Non-geothermal.
No. Well, actually, it is connected to all the platform, but we retrieve only geothermal information. So Zenodo, is, for instance, just to make you an example, is a catch-all repository. So you can find everything inside. What we did is to filter thoroughly all the geothermal research product. So we are connected to catch-all repositories. Also for journals, for instance, if we connected it with the geothermics, for example. And geothermics, it's easy because it is dedicated to this sector. But we connected the GRIS also to, for instance, Renewable Energy Journal, International Journal. Of course, we add to filters all the stuff related in that source. And we set some filters to get only what we want. So the answer is that we are connected with everything, but we are filtering.
Okay. We have quite some questions, so maybe we should look at also maybe shorter answer. So some clear questions. Can we find also open codes on the website? I would say no.
No, I would say no.
It's a European Commission project portal where you can find that, but we will refer to that in the next presentation. From Ingo Forstner, is only about European sources, or do you also have documents from the US or at a
Yeah,
global level?
exactly. There are repositories also in US.
Are you aware of yes, other repositories all over the world similar to EGRIS?
I think no. What is more or less similar is the proceeding search engine from IGA, but it is our intention to liaise with them and to try to make only one place for the world.
Okay. And the last question is maybe a question and a comment is when writing a proposal, one will use EGRIS. I think indeed EGRIS is for that, is to help you to see what is the ongoing research activities, to base your project also on ongoing research activities. I don't think it's an obligation to mention EGRIS in the proposal. What is useful is to mention the publication you find in EGRIS to refer to your project proposal.
Exactly.
With that, I think it's time to move to the next presentation. Thank you, Eugenio, for this
Thank you too.
presentation.
Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.
What we can maybe just say is that indeed the tool is available online. We have some tutorial video, which is also ongoing presentations, ongoing drafting. So we will also have soon some clear guidelines on how to use EGRIS. But really, I encourage you to visit the website to benefit of it. Thank you, Eugenio.
Thank you.
I know it's my pleasure to give the floor to Emile Martini to present the Horizon Europe program and funding opportunities. Emile, floor is yours.
Thank you, Philippe. So I'm gonna tell you about some funding opportunities which are open for geothermal projects for this year especially. The main calls for which I will tell you about will be live calls proposal for 2024, Horizon Europe calls, European Innovation Council last calls, and EU Innovation Fund and also Research Fund for coal and steel. So starting with the first. Right. Okay. Starting with the live program. So as many of you already know, there is especially the Clean Energy Transition sub-program, which has a budget of nearly 1 billion over the period 21 and 27. And the aim is to facilitate the transition toward energy efficiency, renewable energy-based, climate neutral and resilient economy. And it has 5 areas of intervention, which are building a national, regional, local policy framework, accelerating technology rollout, which is particularly important for geothermal, attracting private finance, supporting the development of local and regional investment projects, and involving empowering citizens in the clean energy transition. As regards the new call, this is it's important to underline that on the 18th of April, there will be the opening. Oh, sorry. Just solving a technical problem. Sorry for that. Just one sec. sorry, I was saying the live call proposal for 2024 will be are expected to be published on 18th of April, and there will also be a virtual information session from 23rd to 26th of April to guide the potential applicants through the live calls. And you can see all the information on the site, on the website of the Commission. Just to give you some more information about what usually will be the different programs and the deadlines for that, there are different kind of live calls that will be open, probably then in April, as said. And the majority of the deadlines, as you see in the slide, will be around September. So we can have, first of all, standard action projects, which are called SAP, which are projects other than strategic integrated project, strategic nature project, or technical assistance project that pursue the objectives of the life program. So these are the most general, let's say, kind of project. Then we can have the technical system project, which support the development of capacity for participation in standard action project, the presentation of strategic nature project and strategic integrated projects, and the preparation for access to other union financial instrument or other necessary measure for preparing the upscaling of replicational results from other projects funded by the LIFE program. Then we can have also strategic nature projects, which support the achievement of union nature and biodiversity objectives by implementing coherent programs of action in member states in order to mainstream those objectives and priorities into other policies and financing instruments. Then we can have also strategic integrated projects, the so-called SIP, which are projects that implement on a regional, multi-regional, national or transnational scale environmental or climate strategies or other action plans. And for this, as you see, the deadlines are always in September this year, except for the strategic integrated project, for which the concept note deadline is in September, but the full proposal deadline is in March 2025. And to conclude, other action grants, which are action needed for the purpose of achieving the general objective of the LIFE program, including coordination and support action, aid on capacity building, dissemination of information and knowledge, and at awareness raising to support the transition to renewable energy and increase energy efficiency, and the operating grants, which are grants that support the functioning of non-profit making entities, which are involved in the development, implementation, and enforcement of union legislation and policy. And again, you can find all the deadlines for this call that will open soon, and all the information on the Commission website. As regards the Horizon Europe call, as you know, the calls were written down in a document which provided the calls for the year 2023 and 2024. And we are especially interested in the so-called Cluster 5, which is about climate, energy, and mobility. During these couple of years, there have been quite some calls for that dealt with geothermal, but also with renewables. So we don't have to look only at the one that are specifically mentioning geothermal, but also the one that can be interesting and useful for the development of geothermal technologies. And as regards the rest of the year 2024, we still have a couple of interesting calls, which are more horizontal, as I was mentioning. So the first one is called Emerging Energy Technologies for a Climate Neutral Europe. The deadline is the 18th of April. Again, you can find all the information on the website. Here I put some interesting features of this call. For example, the budget is around 10 million. That could be granted around 5 projects, maybe more. And the aim of this project is to support and to have consideration of at least one of the 3 areas mentioned in the slide. So energy distribution and transmission, long-term energy storage, novel energy generation conversion methods. And we're talking about a TRL of 4 by the end of the project. So just to give you a bit of context, specifically the long-term energy storage can be interesting for us. Just to recall a bit, for example, which is the purpose also that as EDGEC we've been written down in the strategic research and innovation agenda as regard long-term energy storage. The whole idea also in the agenda is to have projects and that implement the commercial aspect of high temperature underground thermal energy storage technologies, also to lower the costs, reducing the risk, and improving the performance of HT UTIS, and to optimize the heat network with demand side management. So whoever is interested in developing something linked to long-term energy storage, this could be an interesting call. Another call is called Alternative Heating Systems for Efficient, Flexible, and Electrified Heat Generation in Industry. So again, this is quite horizontal in the sense that it can include different technologies, but also geothermal can be one of them. The deadline is the 18th of April. The budget is around 60 million. With at least 3 projects that could be granted. The TRL is a bit higher. It should reach 6-7 by the end of the project. And in terms of expected outcome, as you can see, there is the fact of take full advantage of alternative heating system for electrified, efficient, and precisely focused heat generation in industry. So the focus is heating in industry. And of course, the reduction of fossil fuel imports dependency, maximizing primary energy savings and CO2 emission. There are also environmental and technical performances aspects, including health protection and safety, and more in general, better awareness of the challenges and benefits of alternative heating system in the relevant industrial sectors. Another interesting call is called Smart Grid Ready Buildings. The deadline is again mid-April. Again, around 10 million for, in this case, at least a couple of projects. Here, the interesting aspect for the geothermal sector is the mentioning and the consideration of distributed networks, because the focus is buildings, but it's also the improved integration of buildings with energy carriers. So distributing network is one of the possible solution in this sense. And for the rest, you see it's other objectives and outcomes, such as increasing renewable energy production, storage, again, at building level, empowerment of end users, enhancement of smart readiness of buildings, etc. Here again, the TRL is it's a bit higher, between 6 and 8 by the end of the project. Last horizon call, which is interesting for this year, is the market uptake measures of renewable energy systems. For this one, the deadline is in September. Budget of around 10 million for around 4 projects. And here, as we got expected outcome, there is the fact of facilitating the wider uptake of renewable energy systems in the energy, industrial, and residential sector, leading to an increased share of renewable energy in the final energy consumption. So it's also quite linked to the recent legislation that has been revised at EU level. There's also the contribution to provide open source validated tools and methodologies for policymakers and stakeholders for developing more informed REST policies. So there is also quite an important policy aspect in this call. And then the contribution to the development of markets and respective financial frameworks that can operate in an efficient and incentive-compatible manner. So there is the financial and market aspect also that can be considered. And of course, also a focus on the social acceptability of renewable energy facilities and installations. So we think that this call will be also quite interesting for our sector. As regards other funding opportunities, I think it's worth mentioning the European Innovation Council. The European Innovation Council has a different funding opportunities. One of them is called the EIC Pathfinder, which is again a funding program under Horizon, which offers some support, especially for funding research to develop the scientific basis to develop breakthrough technologies. This Pathfinder, it focuses on early stage kind of research. And the aim is also to build new cutting edge directions in science and technologies. It is divided in two different calls. One is called the Pathfinder Challenges, and the other one is the Pathfinder Open. As you can see, they also have different deadline to submit at the bottom right corner of the slide. You can see that the next one, which is still open, is for the EHC Pathfinder Challenges in October this year. And the grants can be up to 4 million for the Pathfinder Challenges and 3 million for the Pathfinder Open. You can find all the information again on the Commission website. But again, the idea here is to finance some research which is at quite an early stage, and that implies some really cutting edge direction and breakthrough disruptive technology. So the innovative aspect is underlined quite a lot for this call. Then there is tomorrow an important info day for the whole work, the explanation of the whole work program of the European Innovation Council. Don't worry if you didn't have time to register, because all of this will be also web streamed, and later on it will be available in terms of recording on the Commission website. I'll just signal you the opportunity then at some point to have a look at the presentation that will be delivered tomorrow about this call. And the other tool under the European Innovation Council is the EIC Accelerator, which have a focus more on the support to startups and SMEs. So it has an innovative, game-changing product, service, or business model that could create new market or disrupt existing ones in Europe, or SMEs that have the ambition and commitment to scale up and are looking for substantial funding. You see that the funding is up to 2.5 million for innovation activities only, with TRL between 5 and 8. Then there are also direct investments up to 15 million for market development with higher TRL of TRL 9 and patient capital principle with a 10 to 7 years perspective. Again, you can find all the information on the website, also to see the specific accelerator open calls. Here, the idea and the difference with the previous call is that the focus is startups and SMEs that want to practically scale up in their innovation and in the creation of their ideas. So here you can see how to apply for this accelerator. The idea is to write at first a short proposal and then prepare the full proposal, and cutting off interviews at a later stage. Here you can see all the information, and again I put here the link to find more. I've done a couple of words on the Innovation Fund. So I'm sure many of you know about it, but in practice is the world's largest funding program for demonstration of innovative low carbon technologies. It will provide around 40 million of support in this decade. Previously, we had 3 calls, which were divided in large-scale project and more small-scale project calls. But now the last call, it's called the put together large, small scale, and also medium scale, and I will show it in a bit. And projects are selected based on cost efficiency, scalability, project maturity, degree of innovation, and effectiveness of greenhouse gas emission avoidance. Here again, the big focus is on innovation. In the past, we also tried to have a look, for example, at the sectors that were covered by this call. For now, geothermal didn't have many calls, and in practice is mainly the EVER project in Germany, which was granted during the second large-scale call. And for the rest, we see that for now there is a big focus on hydrogen, for example, but also some projects in carbon capture, storage, and other renewables. Here are the next steps. So as I was mentioning, in November until 9 of April, there is the new call for projects of all scales. So here is also the division between the scale of the project. So up to 20 million is a small scale, between 20 and 100 is medium, and then with more than 100 is a large scale project. The budget in this call was increased, so there should be also new opportunity of financing, and also the fact that now there is a medium category, maybe it will help in the competition with others. To conclude, a couple of words on the research fund for coal and steel, which is a way of financing that is not that well known, but which deserves some attention, I think. So just to give you a bit of context of this, so here there are 2 focuses, so coal and steel, which are quite important also from a strategic point of view for at EU level, and they deal with a lot of EU legislation. First of all, the Green Deal, which gave the framework for all the renewable energy policies of the year, integrated also with the Repower EU and the Recovery and Resilience Facility. As regard steel, it's about also the production of it at European level. As regard coal, it's all about try to have a just transition. And you will see that geothermal can also play a role in the in how to deal with old mines that were closed. This is all part of the just transition mechanism. So the whole mechanism focuses on the regions and sectors that are most affected by the transition to carbon neutrality due to their dependence on fossil fuels. And as you know, the situation is quite different country per country. So the goal is really to facilitate the transition of this region, making sure that no region is left behind. Here to give you a bit of numbers, so there are 40 million annual coal, but then there is also another 71 million for large steel coal projects via dedicated so-called big tickets coal. The majority of it is mainly through for steel project, but there's still quite some interesting opportunity related to coal. And in particular, the new coal is called the RFCS 2024 JT Big Tickets for Coal, which has mainly 5 big objectives. The most important objective for geothermal is the repurposing of former coal and lignite mines and coal-related infrastructure, including power supply services. And reading through, for example, the text explaining this call, you will see that the objective 1 is quite interesting, because that could be a research project which support the transition towards a climate neutral union by phasing out fossil fuels, proposals which are expected to demonstrate and deploy a viable technical solution to contribute to the repurposing of former coal and lignite mines. And one possible solution will also look for complementarity to existing projects under Horizon Europe Cluster 5. So it's important to underline the link between this funding opportunity and Horizon Europe, especially Cluster 5, which is the one I was telling you about before. And in between this objective of repurposing of former coal and lignite mines, there are some specification on the use of geothermal energy on former coal and lignite mine sites. So there are a lot of opportunities linked to that, which are already explained and expected in this call. So, for example, the advanced exploration technologies for geothermal energy adapted to the specific environmental concerns and challenges of these mines, with a focus on improving the performance and reliability and circularity of the geothermal systems. There is also the smart use of geothermal electricity and heating and cooling in the energy system. So the focus will be on improving system integration of geothermal heat and the former, for example, coal power plant. And last but not least, the development of geothermal resources in former coal mines in the process of closure. So, for example, project must demonstrate energy efficient, environmental sound, and economically viable generation of electricity or heating and cooling from geothermal resources in an operating or former coal or lignite mine. And here are the information about the deadline for submission. So the call just opened at the beginning of February, and the deadline is the 25th of April. And then you can see also the next steps in terms of evaluation that will be between spring and summer. The information on the result around September, October, and towards the end of the year to have the agreement. And again, I put you here the link if you need more information. This is all from my side. Thanks.
Thank you. Emil, do we have some questions for you? I see one question. Are these funds and programs directed to European projects only or available for project research through the world?
All the projects I explained today are from are European projects, so they are open to European countries and to countries which have specific agreements with the EU, such as the UK, for example, for some calls. And it all depends on the various agreements that the EU has with other countries and for the specific call. But I would say it's mainly the target is mainly Europe.
Thank you. Do we have other questions to Emil? Not at that stage. Okay, so maybe it's time to go to the last presentation on the lesson. Thank you, Emil. Ah, yes, no, okay, things, there are some questions coming. So most calls have a delay in April. Yeah. Do you see others coming with more lead time? Indeed, what I was mentioning in the introduction is that we are at the end of a work program, which was for 23-24. And currently, the European Commission is drafting the work program 2025. So it's why we see codes that have been published late 2023 with a deadline in 2024.
Yeah, exactly. Just to add on that, for example, for Horizon, for the Horizon program, we expect in November, December, a new document for the calls for the next couple of years. So as I was saying, the few calls which remains for 2024 is because it was part of a full 2 years program. So unfortunately, we have this quite close deadlines, especially in April.
Mm-hmm. I see that, yeah, there's a question on how to build a consortium or to collaborate. The deadline is quite short. Maybe the best for you is to look at a call you want to apply and to look at maybe through Agreed or other search on internet what have been recent work on that and which have been the partners have worked recently now on similar topics. And it will help you to identify what are the right partners, because in 1 month it will be hard for you to contact people. Second question is about Turkey. Yes, Turkey usually is eligible for many European programs, especially others in Europe. After, for other programs mentioned by Emil, we have to see for each program there's an agreement signed. But for research innovation, indeed, Turkey is eligible. And last question is there an advisor to drive us through the proposal and target the right one? It's a work that is partially done in ETIP geothermal in the working groups. So indeed, the working groups, you can see that the topics on geothermal are a lot of times coming from the strategic research innovation. So the ETIP geothermal published in November 2023 is like the latest version of the research agenda. Topics are coming from there, and indeed it can help to see how to is relevant to target a topic. After how to build a project proposal, we are not doing it today, but regularly around the year we organize B2B meetings and networking activities where you are also able to discuss with other partners about the proposal you want to develop. as advisor, as other ones are asking advisors, the best advisor for me are the partners that have already experience in similar European programs. So it's why I recommend you to look at what have been the recently achieved project, what are the ongoing research project, and to see what is the composition of a consortium. So from here, you can see people that have already experience and can be potential advisor for you. And with that, I think we answered all the questions for now. And now I will go to the last presentation, presenting you a bit the lessons learned. So it's also to build on the discussion we just had. First, it was interesting to see not only last year, but maybe for last two to 3 years, what have been the goals. So we had in 2022 a call on demonstrate the use of high temperature geothermal reservoir to provide energy storage for energy system, which was a technology specific call on geothermal. And there was another call, which is not technology specific, but just of interest. It was renewable energy incorporation in agriculture and forestry. You can see that the first one, technology specific, was not really complete. There were 5 proposals, but there were only 1 awarded. And the budget was 20 million. The second call, which was more technology neutral, attracted 36 proposals, 4 projects awarded, and 1 was on geothermal. So on other calls in 2021, it was a call on solutions for more sustainable geothermal energy. And here there's 2 ongoing projects that have been awarded, the Outlook project and the Compass geothermal. So indeed, the total budget was 10 million for 2 projects, and 2 projects have been awarded. What we could see from also the evaluation, that there are 17 submissions, so quite a lot of competition, and 11 were above the threshold, so above the minimum scoring to be awarded. So indeed, it was quite interesting to see. And the project awarded, one of them has 14.5 on a total of 15. So you can see that today, project awarded have really high score. And we can see that in other call for proposals. The one on agriculture, just to mention that indeed, the project which is not technology specific, but where geothermal is mentioned, you can see the EcoLoop project. You have solutions to optimize different energy sources, biogas, biomass, agri-PV, and geothermal for rural areas. On high temperature, the call I just mentioned you before, there were 5 submitted, and 3 were above the threshold. So potentially 3 could have been awarded, and the award consortium had a score of 15 and 15. It's the Pushit project, which is also an ongoing project. To continue on more recent codes, it was on 23-24, so some have been with a deadline in January, so we don't have all the results. For the code, the first one on advanced exploration, the deadline was in September, and its project awarded are currently under negotiation, so we cannot say too much. But it was really with a lot of competition, because there were 20 proposals for only 2 project awards. So it means that it's a popular topic, and let's expect some codes on exploration technologies also next year or in the work program 26-27. And the other topics in September was smart use of geothermal electricity and heating and cooling in the energy system. And here there were 5 proposals submitted only, and for 3 projects awarded. So let's see what is the result of the negotiation, but here it was less competition. But what is interesting to see that indeed we had two technology-specific topics in 2023, but there were a lot of interest from technology-neutral topics, and you can see they were looking at, for example, energy valleys, but also about a lot of the codes were about storage, no? Seasonal storage, seasonal heating and cooling storage, which is of course feasible with geothermal. Also to look at decarbonization of buildings, which is also of interest of geothermal. So interesting to see not only the technology-specific codes on geothermal, but also the technology-neutral codes which are of interest. Because indeed, the conclusion of 23-24 is that we had two topics technology-specific in 2023 with a deadline in September, and one in 2024 with a deadline which was in January, just now, 2 months ago. But there were two others with a reference to geothermal. So, for example, the one on technology for sustainable cost efficient and low carbon footprint downstream processing and producing of battery grade materials. Geothermal is mentioned in the call with other renewable energy sources. Same for the last call mentioned here, including the efficiency of innovative static energy conversion. So these two calls were last year. So it's probably one of the conclusions we have from Horizon Europe is that we will have 1, 2, 3 calls per year technology specific, but there's a lot of other calls that I recommend you because they're also of interest. Because here, typically geothermal is mentioned, but in 9 other calls, we have seen that geothermal also is of interest. Sorry, there's a mistake on the one on the application because it was the one already mentioned before with technology, but the first one on emerging energy technologies, renewable energy valleys, seasonal heat storage, as I mentioned, or market uptake. Other ones on thermal management of buildings, innovative solutions for decarbonizing buildings, decarbonizing industrial activities, etc., etc. They are not technology specific. Geothermal is not mentioned, but geothermal is typically eligible, and project proposal can also refer to a geothermal project in all these calls. So it's really what we recommend you is to look at in the future, not only to the technology specific, but also to the calls that can be of interest. So what is, to conclude this webinar, what is next? Maybe some people were also asking that in the Q&A. So currently the Commission is drafting the work program 2025, which will be ready really late of this year for calls published early 2025. And then we will have a work program covering the year 26-27. From the feedback we have from Horizon Europe is that they will see in the next 3 years less topics, but of larger size. So we can expect some demonstration projects also awarded. We expect to have 2 geothermal technology-specific calls per year, so to continue what we had since the start of Horizon Europe. I was mentioning demonstration project with a large size budget, but also they will continue to fund for sure low TRL for technologies to be ready by 2040. What is a recommendation from the Commission also is to follow up the recently achieved project and close call. So recently achieved project, I can refer, for example, that 10 years ago in 2014, there were this call on deep drilling activities, and since then it was quite low TRL, and since then nothing has been funded to continue that as Horizon Europe, and maybe it's a topic also that we can expect to see follow-up codes to build on recent achieved results. The close call is typically the one on exploration when we see 20 applications and only we expect 2, but awarded. It means that there's a lot of other research activities that should be also funded to bring more exploration technologies for geothermal on the market. So it's what we also try as a native to work on to promote topics that are of interest. And typically when a call has a lot of competition and 20 applications, it means that more should be funded. And with that, I think we can close this presentation on lessons learned. And maybe you have some questions also, general questions or requests. We still have 10 minutes to conclude the webinar. The floor is open for questions. No questions? Ah, yes, it's coming. Is there any plan to fund drilling new wells and or repurposing oil and gas wells? 2 considerations. First consideration, Alejandro, is that this topic is highlighted in the strategic research and innovation agenda of ATIP. So when, as a general sector, we present what are the potential topics for research innovation, repurposing oil and gas wells is a topic. The second part of the question is that is this program's plan to fund drilling new wells? It's an issue. However, it's an issue where the Commission, they are reluctant to fund drilling well. You have some exemption that was mentioned in a call on drilling. They were allowing to test some drilling on supercritical, notably activities in Tuscany and another one the project in Austria. But generally, they prefer to avoid also potential risk associated with deep drilling to base your research activities on an existing well. The second question is what are your thoughts about next generation geothermal? Next generation geothermal, for us, it's what we call at a low TRL. At a low TRL, it means that, as mentioned in the concluding slide, is that indeed, Horizon Europe will continue to fund technologies at a low TRL to see them to be in the market commercial stage by 2040. So we will continue to see that. Probably one lesson is that when you have 2 codes, technology specific on geothermal, they tend to be at high TRL and tend to be also valid for a lot of different European countries, especially when it's Horizon Europe. So when it's a technology which is only valid for few countries, probably other programs like Geothermica or CTP are more of interest. Second aspect I can also mention is that when we speak about low TRL, it's also interesting to look at technology neutral codes. So you have also some technology neutral codes that can be really of interest for developing next generation of geothermal technologies. On our topic, I have a price I feel can be implemented in view. How can I get support? The support is for research and innovation project is done from ATIP. So ATIP is the European Technology and Innovation Platform, is for free, is open to everybody, European and non-Europeans. And from that, you can have some support. And notably, we have some working groups which help you also to be in contact with other stakeholders to build your project. So another questions, would there be any chance for a proposal benchmarking high TRL drilling technologies for performance and cost efficiency? I assume I assume because it's a topic which is highlighted in the research agenda. With can be of different sort. Of course, it can be a drilling component, no, part of a bit, or different equipment in the casing. I would see here also a chance to see technologies that have been developed to be funded to be in the market soon. It's highlighted that drilling cost in geothermal is one of the main cost components. So we always ask support, financial support for research innovation to decrease this cost. So I see a possibility, especially in a frame where the Commission will put quite some money on exploration also for critical raw materials, and we expect also to have some benefit in geothermal for all these research activities and exploration in the underground. What about hybrid project? It's of course there, as mentioned, is typically the ones not technology neutral, not technology specific, but which are neutral with a reference to geothermal. So when we decarbonize buildings, it can be decarbonizing buildings, typically with solar and geothermal for heating and cooling. We have seen also some hybrid plants for electricity and some calls on hybrid plants. So indeed, this is also something eligible. Good question. Is the UK still included? I would say it is back to Horizon Europe, indeed. There were some long negotiations, but with a good conclusion that indeed the United Kingdom and stakeholders in the United Kingdom are eligible to Horizon Europe. And to other European programs, some is to be seen program per program. How can I get the contact of those working groups? The best is when you register. I say it's open, it's for free. When you register to ATIP geothermal working groups, you can select the working groups, and we plan some meetings in April, webinars, web meetings. So there's one on resource assessment exploration. Another one is on drilling. Another one is more on heating and cooling surface systems. One on electricity surface systems. One is on sustainability, circularity, and all these topics. So indeed, we have these different working groups. When you register, you will be in contact with these people, notably with first web meetings planned in the next 2 months. A question on funding for research of health issues or agriculture. Yes, on agriculture, there were quite some in 23-24. We can assume that also in the future there will be, but here I would see is as interesting to look at energy topics than to look at the agricultural chapter of Horizon Europe, but also other funding program, because there's probably more funding available on agriculture and on energy in some programs. So here I really recommend you to look at that. And same for health issues. We know that there's a lot of also topics that can be of interest. Typically here you can also look at, for example, the live program that Emil was presenting, because here you will find also some topic of interest for that. The market uptake measures is really high. TRL, we speak about socioeconomic studies, TRL 7, 8, but typically 9. Two more questions. Okay, regarding validation of registration, indeed we have a new colleague in charge of that. I will liaise with her to be sure that all the registrations that are done in the next hours or next days are validated as soon as possible. Yes, all presentation will be available. And with this last question, I think I thank you all for attending this webinar. Thank you, Eugenio. Thank you, Emil. Thank you, all participants. And we do regularly funding calls, probably not before summer, because you could see there's not a lot of calls available in the year 2024 before summer, but once we have more information about next year, 2025, we will also present you that. In the meantime, I really recommend you, because it was also highlighted today, is to start thinking about your project, start thinking about your consortium, and for that, we'll organize several networking events, virtual or physical, to help you building your consortium. And that was my last word. So thank you again for attending this webinar, and I wish you a good day. See you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.